Hey guys, it's Sammy, aka Berghouse, and today I'm bringing you a video just talking about the patch notes for the recent patch, which has just been released on the Xbox 360, and I think it should be on the PS3, PC, and Wii U quite soon, so it shouldn't be too long. Quickly before I get into it, I just want to mention that I'm using two SMGs with Overkill, mainly because I just wanted to get the challenge for no perks and no attachments at the same time. So that's why I've got that crazy setup. I don't usually use it. I do quite well considering what I was using. There's a lot of very minor tweaks on here which don't really affect the gameplay too much, so I'm pretty much going to ignore all that. But I just wanted to talk about the game balancing aspect of it. There is one thing in the notes that I think I should mention. It's just that the stock will now you won't be able to move faster when you aim down sight with an SMG with the stock as you could before. So it's going to be a slight nerf to the stock in terms of that, but I don't think it'll be that great an amount, to be honest. First of all, let's talk about the score streaks. So the Death Machine 3-hit kill range has been increased, which I think is pretty good because, to be honest, it's a kill streak. It's a score streak. You actually had to earn that, so it should be pretty powerful in my opinion. Even a 2-hit kill, because the fact that you only get 25 points towards your score streak kind of sucks in my opinion. I think they should have increased that as well, to be honest. They've given the Dragonfire a bit of health and reduced the gun spread, which is pretty cool because it is pretty weak. You can get taken down quite fast. The AGR ground speed has been increased, and they've reduced the machine gun close range damage. I never had a problem with the AGR. I thought it was fine, but if they felt they need to move a bit faster, probably could be useful for getting between areas, I suppose. The Warthogs reduced the missile delay. I'm not entirely sure what that means. Perhaps it's when you're trying to lock onto it with the FHJ, it takes ages for the missiles to get towards it. Perhaps that's what it is. I'm not sure though. The Lodestars had reduced missile speed and area of effect radius, so that's probably going to be easier to avoid, I guess. And for the swarms, drone respawn delay increased, so I guess that's a slight nerf to the swarm as well. For perks, there's only one change here. Hardwire's had a slight buff, so it's actually somewhat useful, I guess. So it's completely unaffected by EMP grenades. So I guess the amount of EMP spam that can go on, it may actually be worth using sometimes now, I guess. Equipment, trophy system has had increased range. Slight buff. I haven't really used it too much, but I guess it is a bit underused, so maybe people will use it a bit more. The SMGs, all silencers have had reduced range, so I guess that's a slight nerf to SMGs with silencers, which I think is quite good because for some reason they only had I think it was a 10% decrease in range with the silencers before, whereas assault rifles had something like 30%. So I think it's a good idea, I think, because it kind of gives people a reason not to use the silencers. I think you're going to have to think a bit more carefully of whether or not you want to use the silencer on an SMG, which is a good thing, I think. For the assault rifles, there's been a lot of buffs here. So all have had reduced idle sway again. There was already increased in the last patch as far as I know, so it's been reduced again. The M27 has basically had his 4-hit kill range increased, and it's had his headshot. It's reduced the amount of headshots. Sorry, the amount of bullets to kill it with a headshot at range. So I think must have had his headshot multiplier increase, which is good because to be honest, I thought it was one of the worst assault rifles. So it's good to see that's had a bit of a buff. The Type 25 has had the amount is again. I think it's had a headshot multiplier increase, so it should be a bit better for headshots now because I don't think it actually made a difference before. And it's had its maximum hipfire spread decreased as well, so it's had a bit of a buff there. Because it was, I guess, one of the assault rifles which was quite decent in close quarters, so good to see that. The Scar's had pretty much quite a similar buff as well. It's had headshot multiplier increase, and it's had his hip spread increased reduced. Sorry. So I thought the Scar was okay, to be honest, and I think it was good that they buffed it, but I thought maybe slightly decreased recoil might have been a better idea in my opinion, because it's not really a close range weapon, and I don't know, they probably know what they're doing. The SIG 556, I think that's the SWAT, it's had its penetration increased from medium to large, so basically it's going to have, I guess it's similar to having FMJ permanently built in, and it's also had its burst delay decreased, which is quite cool. as it was a bit of a slow bursting weapon, a bit too slow. So I haven't had a go of it yet, but it'd be cool to see what that's like. It's also had this, I think it's range increased, so the number of bullets to kill at a long distance. So maybe it's had this minimum damage increase, I guess. So, yeah, increased maximum number of bullets to kill at long distance. Yeah. The TAR 21 has had his 3-hit kill range increased. That's quite cool. TAR 21 I thought was okay. It was one of the better assault rifles. Not quite as good as this modern Warfare 2 version, but I thought it was pretty decent. So that's good to see. The SMR has had a slight increase to damage, so that the 2-hit kill still happens with minor penetration, and it's had its headshot multiplier increased at long distance. So that's quite cool. It was kind of overshadowed by the FAL, so that's good to see. And speaking of the FAL, it's had this, with select fire, it's got increased recoil, and it's had increased hip spread overall. Thank God, that weapon was doing my head in. Yeah, I think it really did need a nerf, to be honest, because it was far too effective up close. It was better than most of the submachine guns, and that's saying something. So the LMGs, they've all had their ADS in and out time reduced, which is quite cool. I thought the LMGs were okay in this game. I did, however, think they were a bit slow to aim, especially compared to the sniper rifles, which nearly have quick draw built in, pretty much. So that's good to see. The shotguns, the M1216 has had slightly increased short range damage. I really didn't think that was a problem with it, to be honest. I thought the problem was the long range damage. It's because you, sorry, pardon me, you get a ridiculous amount of hit markers at long range. But you know, I guess that's okay. It's good to see a buff on it anyway, because it was a bit rubbish. And most importantly, the Executioner has had an increase to maximum range damage. So maybe we'll actually be able to kill people with the weapon. So I'd definitely be giving that a go later. Overall, I'd have to say there's some pretty good stuff in there. It's good to see that the assault rifles have been buffed somewhat, because although the SMG should have an advantage in close quarters, I think the fact that a lot, like for example Hardpoint, and a lot of the maps are quite close quarter catered, it's good to see they've been given a bit more. Well, the Type 25, sorry, and the TAR, especially, I thought were quite sort of SMG assault rifle hybrids, like decent in close quarters. So it's good to see they've had their capabilities increased as well. And of course, the FAL had its effectiveness reduced a lot more. So hopefully, there'll now be a bit more of a difficult decision between which to use of the semi-autos. Seen as well, the SMRs had a buff as well. I would have liked to have seen the S12 and the M1216 have their minimum long range damage increased rather than having the close range damage, because I feel like the amount of hit markers you get at the end, you shouldn't really be getting 10 hit markers. I know it is a shotgun, but why bother giving it damage out to that range? It's just annoying. So I'll try and post all the patch notes below in the description, and I'll also make a link to the forum which I got all this information off. It was done by an admin, so it's on the official forum, so there's no need to worry about it being legit or not. So guys, I'm off to try out the newly buffed Executioner. Hopefully I'll actually be able to get a kill with the whole five shots. Maybe, we don't know, we'll find out anyway. But I hope this information was useful for you guys, and I'll be covering all the patch notes as soon as they're out. And I'm probably going to be doing some sort of weapon review on the Peacekeeper SMG on Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you later guys anyway. Bye bye now. Bye bye.